Hey guys, it is Thursday night. I am sitting outside of Walmart. Just in case, you haven't seen any of the other videos or, liked my Facebook page or anything like that. The Facebook page is Don't Quit. And my YouTube channel is If You Commit, Don't Quit. All one word. So anyway, I'm sitting outside of Walmart. I was just inside and I talked to a couple people. And I asked them the same thing that I want to ask you guys today. Whenever you're going through life, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's school. It doesn't matter if it's work. It doesn't matter if it's a relationship. It doesn't matter if it's your religious walk. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. Financial, whatever. How do you handle failure? How do you handle that? Say you started a business, okay? One of the guys that I talked to inside had just failed in a business. How do you handle that? He started a pressure washing business. Just to me, people need stuff pressure washed, but all at the same time, why would you pay for that? To me that doesn't resonate, but to some people it does, so whatever. But I just got done talking to somebody that just failed in that business. I said, hey, well, how did you respond to that whenever you realized you weren't going to be able to operate anymore? You couldn't afford to operate anymore. You weren't making any money. What was your train of thought? How did you handle that? And he looked me in the eye and said, the day that I saw that I couldn't afford to operate anymore, I just gave up. He said, okay, I'm just going to have to go get a 9-to-5 and, just deal with it. That is probably the worst thing, the worst feeling that anybody can ever have, and it doesn't matter who you are. Failing and feeling like you have no options after failure is probably the worst feeling that anybody could have. I've failed twice in business. Every day of my life I fail. And, I used to have the mindset of, if I fail at something, then I'm probably not meant to do it, and I'll just, give up, and I'll just be done with it. That ain't what I think anymore. That's not the mindset that I have anymore. The mindset that I believe is the right mindset is the one that I have now. And when I fail now, I fail, I fall on my face, I don't quit. I don't give up. It might take a second or a minute or whatever to get back up from that, but I do not quit. I won't quit. And you will never achieve the things in life that you want to financially, spiritually, mentally, business-wise. You will never achieve those things if every time you fail, you quit. If you're a salesman and you look around the room, you're sitting in your cubicle, or you're just sitting at a group desk, or, you have your own office even, or if you work from home, you're a salesman. Okay, I don't know what you sell, whatever. You get on the phone and you call somebody, and every response that they have is just it's just negative towards your product. It's negative, it's negative, it's negative, it's negative. You're not going to spend a whole lot of time on that phone call, and that's fine. That's actually a good thing. But you are going to call them back. And if you don't, you're a horrible salesman. If you don't follow up with your customers, your potentials, you will never, ever succeed in sales. If you're a welder and you go to work and you're welding, you blow a hole. And you say, man, I blew a hole. This ain't for me. By the way, I'm a welder, so, man, I blew a hole. This ain't for me. I gotta stop doing this. I gotta find something else. You ain't never gonna get good at welding. If you keep quitting the things that you try, if you constantly quit them, and I've quit a lot of things in my life. I have quit a lot of things in my life. I've lost passion for things in my life. And I look back on those things sometimes and I'm like, man, if I could have just fixed that and I could have kept going, I would have just pushed on, man, I would be the best at that. That's how I look at that now. I used to look at that and say, man, well, I'm better than that. There is nobody that is above working. Nobody. There is nobody that is too good to work. I don't care what you think. You're never too good to work. You're never too good to learn a trade. I don't care if you got $1 million or if you're living in a tent. You are never good. You are never too good to work. You're also never too stupid to work. You're also never too incompetent to work. If people look at you, if your bosses look at you and say you're too stupid to work, or you're too incompetent to work, you never show up on time, you never do that, it's all because of choices that you have made. It's not because of them. Don't blame it on them. Even if your boss is a complete jerk, it's never on them. Own your responsibilities. Until you own your responsibilities, you won't ever succeed at anything. I'm being honest with you. I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I'm here to tell you the truth and let that truth motivate you. That is what I am here for. Now, the thing is in those positions, you will get mistreated. You know, you will have bosses that don't like you. You will have bosses that aren't happy with your work. You will have bosses that aren't happy with your efficiency, no matter what you're doing. You will have those bosses. I'm sorry. It's not their fault if they say you are incompetent for this job. You don't show up, you don't work, you don't do your job, you don't do those. If you listen to what they're saying, all of that stuff is stuff that you can change. All of it. Every last one of them is something that you have control over. Now, I understand there's circumstances where, equipment doesn't work like it's supposed to. I understand that. I understand there's circumstances where a boss just flat does not like you. Usually, if you're doing your job and you're not causing problems and you are just pushing to be the best you that you can, though, you ain't never gonna have a boss that don't like you. This is a lesson that I'm learning every day. I'm trying to push that in my head. If you have a boss that doesn't like you, if you have a boss that doesn't respect you, if you have a boss that mistreats you, if you have a boss that underpays you, there's a good chance it's because of something that you're doing that you could be doing better. And it's all in your head that everything is their fault. They might have some responsibility in it, I don't know. But there is never, ever, ever a time that you are perfect. There's never a time that you are, absolutely 100% flawless at that job. But how do you recover from failure? Some of the most successful, all of the successful people in the world, because they're people. Everybody fails. Now, when you fail, do you get back up and you try again? And when you get back up, do you have more intensity, more desire, more passion? Do you get back up and try again, or do you just give up? Do you just give up on what you want to do? And if the job that you're doing is not what you want to do, try to find what you do want to do. I'm not saying, hey, wake up and go quit your job. But I am saying if that ain't what you want to do, then why are you not trying to change it? Are you looking for an excuse? You're looking for an excuse to be miserable? Complain? Honestly, if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to get out of bed and you don't want to go do your job, everybody gets tired. Everybody does. But there's a good chance that if you wake up in the morning and you're not at least a little bit motivated to go and do something at work today, there's a good chance that that's because you don't like your job. And you're like, man, well, I already knew I didn't like my job. Why are you telling me this? if you don't like your job, that job probably ain't for you, and you're forcing it. You're going there, and you don't want to be there. And I'm trying to get real with you. If you're going to your job and you don't want to be there, you're wasting your company, your boss's money and time. On every end of the spectrum. You're wasting your boss's money and time. Now, in business, why would that boss respect you for coming and wasting his money and time? See, people trade money for time. They don't trade money to take their own time. They trade money so they can gain time. Now, when they do that, that doesn't necessarily mean they're gaining free time, but that means that they're gaining time that they can be doing other things. They can be using that time to build their business even more. They can be using that time to go on a vacation. They traded that money for that time. Why do you feel like you are higher than that? If you don't want to work for somebody else, then don't. Don't sit on your butt and collect a check from the government because you're too lazy to go out and get a job. Don't sit on your butt and collect a check from the government because you don't want to, go out and start a business. If you don't want to work for somebody else, what do you want to do? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, what do I want to do? What is something that I am great at and that I enjoy and that can be profitable? Not every business venture is going to make you rich. Face it. Not every business is going to make you rich. If your goal is to get rich, find a business that will. Find something that you're good at that is extremely profitable. Find something that you can make your passion. Don't just sit on your butt and, think about, hey, what could I be doing? No. Get out there and make it happen. If you have that thought, start writing that thought down. Start writing things that you could do down. Start writing it on paper so you can refer back to it and look at it and create steps that you need to take to get to where you want to be. Start writing that down. And not only that, but start getting out there and exploring your customer base. Every business that makes money is making money because they wanted to. Every one of them. And they wanted to so bad that they were willing to put in the time to build that business. Even if they didn't have a business plan structured for a bank. Even if they didn't have that, they still wanted it bad enough they made it happen. Every rich person in the world that founded their own wealth, everyone that has ever existed, and I mean ever, they all wanted it so bad that they were willing to take the things that they enjoyed doing, the things that they liked doing, along with the things that they didn't like doing. They were willing to take that information, that task, that skill, whatever, and they were willing to profit from it. And in the process, they probably got so dang good at it, they didn't even realize they hated it anymore. They pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed every day, fighting for that. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, this world does not owe you anything. This world does not owe you a thing. If you want something, you got to go out there and get it. You got to go out there and look around and say, hey, where's my money? Where's my money? Where can I find my money? Let me tell you where you can find your money. That business venture idea that you had going on through your head a couple months ago, that, you were like, you're thinking about it, you're like, man, that's a really good idea. Man, that's a really good idea. Man, that's a really good idea. That business venture idea, when was the last time you thought about it? When was the last time you went and talked to somebody about it? When was the last time that you went out and you went to a business that was like that and talked to them? When was the last time that you decided you wanted to go learn that trade that business took? When was the last time that you watched a motivational video for it? When was the last time that you learned, anything about that? When was the last time that you actually sat down with a pen and paper and started writing everything down that you thought about with it? Whether that be the product that you'd sell, a new design idea, a new service that you might offer. When was the last time you sat down and you looked at, okay, how can I do this? How can I make this happen? What does my market look like? What does my overhead look like to get this going? What do I have to do to make this happen? What do I have to do to make this a reality? You don't freaking look at your personal finance. You're like, man, how do I afford a business if I don't look at my own personal finance? Man, how do I look at starting a business if I don't have any money? It takes money to make money. See, I heard somebody the other day. I was watching a video for personal development, by the way. He's a very wealthy man. He does a lot of the things where, like, he says a part of a sentence and then he has his audience finish his sentence for him, right? And it's funny how he does this. There are two things that he says that I can think of off the top of my head that are awesome whenever you sit down and boil them out and think about them and really analyze what he's saying. Two things. It takes money to... And, the response is, make money, because you finished my sentence. The thing is, it doesn't necessarily take yours. He says it takes guts, it takes courage. That's true, it does. But it does not necessarily take your own money to make money. OPP. Other people's money. I'm sorry, OPM. Other people's money. How does that resonate with you? How do I get other people's money to invest in my new business? I don't know. Figure it out. There's all kinds of investors out there. You probably know somebody that's got some money that's always looking at business deals. Even if you don't realize it right now, you probably know somebody that runs a business. Man, how do I get other people's money to start my business? How do I get other people's money to make that investment? Go out there and talk to them. Go out there and get to know those people. Not everybody has to know your name, your weight, your size, your height, where you live, that kind of thing. Not everybody has to know that. Get out there and network. Get your name out there. Get your name out there. And I don't mean get on the internet and start adding everybody you can on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. That's good too, but the better way to do that is after you've gone out and you've networked in person or over the phone. After you've done that, get out there and start networking with people on the internet, because then the people that know you in person or from over the phone, then those people are going to start looking at, hey, this guy probably has a Facebook page. I should add him. So they're going to add him. And then every time that one of those people's friends sees their Facebook page and they see that they liked this post, guess what? That spreads a little bit further, and before you know it, your network web has so many people in it that you don't even know. If you keep pushing your product, you keep pushing your content, you keep pushing your service, you keep pushing all that stuff, great. Nobody's ever going to buy it. Nobody's ever going to buy it if that's all you push. Get your freaking name out there. You don't get your name out there, nobody's going to know who you are. People always say, people buy from who they trust. And this is another thing, by the way, this very successful man, this very wealthy man. People say, people say that a penny saved is a penny earned, right? It's not true. I mean, you didn't save that penny and earn that penny, simultaneously. You didn't earn that penny because you saved it. You earned that penny before you saved it. So a penny earned is what? It's a penny. It's a penny. How many times have you been walking down the street and seen a little, copper-looking reflection on the sidewalk? You keep walking. I'm sure there are people out there that do this, so don't think I'm actually making fun of you if you're one of those people. But I'm just saying, when was the last time that you personally were walking down the sidewalk? You saw that little bitty copper-looking reflection on the sidewalk, and you're like, oh man, yeah, and you got all excited. And you picked that penny up, and you were so proud of that penny, you polished it on your shirt and shoved it in your pocket and took it home. Kids get excited about pennies because they don't know the value of $1. Kids get excited about that because they don't know the value of $1. They don't know what it's like to work for their money. If you live your life by the a penny saved is a penny earned mentality, you ain't never gonna make money. And you can quote that and you can say that and you can stockpile and hoard and do all this stuff, but that's gonna limit you on how much money you can make. You're like, Aaron, I got this really successful business. We're netting a little over we're netting over a little over $12 million a year. That's great. That's awesome, dude. That's totally bomb. Keep it up. Keep doing that. But if you're holding on to every dollar that you net, every dollar, you're limiting yourself because you have more tools. Money is a tool. If money's a tool, okay, you go to a mechanic shop, and that mechanic's got a ton of tools all over the place, right? So this guy says, okay, I want to be a mechanic. I want to be a mechanic, man. Is he going to go out and buy a one wrench set and be done? No. He's going to get as many stinking tools as he can because he knows that if he has all those tools, he's got a wider range of market, right? So if you've already got money, you have access to a huge market. You've got all those tools, all those $1 bills that you could have if you got everything out of the bank in $1 bills or out of the safe in $1 bills, whatever. You got all those $1 bills. Each one of those is a little tool. Each one of those is a little tool. So if you got all those tools and you're just stockpiling them and not using them, what good does it do to have those tools? Make them work for you. Make those tools work for you. Make them reproduce and make more tools. Figure out how to do that. Make those tools make more tools, and make those tools that those tools made make even more tools, and make it happen not only when you're awake and functioning, but also when you're asleep. Figure out how to work around the clock, 24 hours a day, even when you're sleeping. Figure out how to get that passive income. Figure out different streams of income. Figure out how to get that little trinkle, how to get that little drip, how to figure that out. Think about that. Think about how you can push yourself to the next level. Don't just stay where you are. That's the end of my rant, guys. I mean, it's not really a rant. I want you to take, information from this video and really try to apply it to your life. Try to use it in your life. I want you guys to learn from this. I'm not perfect. I don't have all my ducks in a row. I don't want all my ducks in a row, though. I don't want my ducks in a row, because when we get our ducks in a row, we're comfortable, right? The second you get comfortable is the second that you stop. You think about when you go home and, you're just going to lay down in bed for a minute and rest your back or rest your legs or whatever, or in your recliner even, or on your couch. The second that you get comfortable is the second that you're done. You're going to sleep. I'm not telling you not to sleep. I'm telling you, do not get yourself in a position where you think you are financially comfortable. Because the second you do, you're going to fail. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. My name is Aaron Kramer. My YouTube channel is If You Commit, Do Not Quit, which is actually If You Commit, Don't Quit. But anyway, go ahead and get on there. Subscribe, like, share. Share the crap out of this video. Share the crap out of all my other videos. Like my Facebook page. Follow me around. Try to pick up knowledge from me. And if you can't pick it up from me, I'm going to be talking to some other people that are successful business people. I'm going to be spending some time doing my own research and doing videos with some of these people. So if you're not getting a whole lot from me right now, if I'm not helping you a whole lot, I'm hoping that I can hook you up with somebody that you can learn from. See? So go ahead and, like I said, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like my videos. Like my page on Facebook. You can add me as a personal friend on Facebook if you want to. Send me a message and tell me, hey, I watched your video, I liked it, or I watched your video, I think you're an idiot, but I want to be friends with you, Do whatever you got to do. It's cool. But anyway, I will catch you later, guys.